Welcome. My name is Jeremy O'Connell with CyberWeb Solutions, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use the VI or Vim terminal editor. Now, Vim is the next version or generation, if you will, of VI. And in fact, there are some GUI tools, or Vim will load in a GUI environment to a degree anyway. I don't use it that way. I use the program, the application VI in the terminal. And I learned VI almost 20 years ago, and it's my go-to terminal editor. I like it, I'm used to it, and pretty comfortable with it. Now, with any application, you will find yourself using some of the commands over and over and over, and then other commands you have to occasionally go look up because you don't do that function very often. That's true with any application. So I'm going to show you common commands like opening a file, opening a new file, saving, editing, adding text, deleting text, that type of thing. Now, VI is great for opening up, and let me just say this. I will use them interchangeably, VI and Vim. And in fact, on pretty much any modern Unix-like system, BSD or Linux or system like that, Solaris type system, when you type in VI for a modern system, I mean, you may have a disk from 10 years ago where you've got a really old version of, say, Solaris or something, but when you type in VI, you're usually getting Vim. And so I will be using VI and Vim interchangeably from now on. I typically say VI, just so you know, but I may say Vim from time to time. Anyway, I will show you how to open files, save files, all that good stuff. Now, what makes VI very confusing for most people is you don't get any on-screen help when you're editing a file or creating a new file. You get a little bit if you type in VI. Let me just show you this. I'm going to type in VI and hit enter. Now, there's a few commands on screen, as you can see here. You can see Q, if you hit colon and Q and enter to exit and that type of thing, and there's the help, and I'm going to go over those commands with you. And you can see here that even though I typed in VI, we're getting Vim right here. So we get the M, VI improved. However, if I type in something like Nano, you'll see here we get help on how to write out a file, where is it, which is kind of like a search, well, it really is a search trying to find something. So you get help. VI, you don't get any of that. And that's what makes VI very confusing over, say, something like Nano. And there are other text editors. So let's get into VI. Well, let me go ahead and ls this directory, and I have 3 files. You can see here, well, really the one we're interested in is the .text one. So just a file.txt is what we're going to be working with starting off for an existing file. Now, VI doesn't need an extension, and Linux doesn't need an extension. And I'm showing this to you, by the way, on a Linux distro, Ubuntu Mate. I know, it looks like mate, but Mate. So Ubuntu Mate is what I'm using. But regardless of what Linux distro you're using, or if you're using a BSD, a TrueOS, whatever, the VI commands will be similar. So you don't have to have in the Unix world an extension like you do with the Windows world. And if the file name had just been called a text file and that was it, you just open up a text file. Now, VI is good for opening text documents. These can be obviously actual text files, but also files such as scripting languages like PHP, Python, Perl scripts, or any of your Bash, your SH scripts, things like that. So files that are text-based work well. CSV files would open up in it as well. However, you're not going to be able to open, at least read, binary files. And even files that, for example, if you tried to open up a OpenOffice, LibreOffice.odt file, open document type, you're going to see some gibberish along with text as well. You'll be able to read some of the text. But just keep that in mind. VI is for text-based files. So let's do this. Let's open up just a file. So I'm going to type in VI space just, and then I can just simply hit the tab because it will autocomplete. Linux will go ahead and autocomplete. So VI space your file name, and then in my case just a file.txt, and hit enter. And now we get the text of, well, VI opens up the document. Now, there's no help here. I mean, you get a little bit of information, the file name you've opened, If it's a new file, we'll say new file, the line that we're on, and the number of characters. But that's it. It's not telling you, the program is not mentioning how you save, how you change the cursor position, that type of thing. So how does this work? Well, what you need to understand first and foremost is when VI opens, unlike, say, a text editor, you're not in edit mode. You are in view only mode. In fact, let me demonstrate that. If I go ahead and hit spacebar, I'm not inserting spaces. I'm continuing to hit the spacebar. Space, 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 space. It's moving the cursor, as you can see, to the right, but it's not inserting spaces at all. Same is true if I go ahead and hit the backspace. So let me hit backspace, backspace. The cursor is moving to the left, but it's not actually deleting any text. Normally, let's say in like LibreOffice, if you hit the backspace, text is deleted, and if you hit the space bar, spaces are entered. But that's not happening. Space bar moves to the right, backspace moves to the left, but nothing is being edited because, as I said, we are in read-only mode. We have not told VI to enter into some type of editing or altering mode, which I'll show you in just a few moments. You may also use the arrow keys. You may use right arrow to go to the right and left to go to the left. And up and down will work if you have multiple lines. This text looks like it's multiple lines, but it's really word wrapping. It's really one line of text that is, like I said, just word wrap. So I can't move up and down. If you had, say, 10 lines, you could use the up and down arrow keys to move up a line and down a line. I'll show you how to do that in a few moments when we add something. So let's say we want to add some text to the end. And again, we are not in any edit mode. We are in read-only mode. Now, it's very important that you understand when you enter a mode in VI, an uppercase and a lowercase letter matter. So an uppercase A and a lowercase a can tell VI to do something different. So just keep that in mind. Now, let's say we want to add a line break. If I go ahead and hit enter, nothing happens. Enter, 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 return, whatever you want to call it, nothing happens because, once again, as I have said, we are not in any type of editing mode. So how do we do this? So let's say we want to add a new line here and put in a new sentence. And let's say we want a space between the paragraph as well. So I need to get to the end of the line. Now, boy, am I going to have to hold this key down here to go to the right? No, there's a shortcut. So the first tip is hold the shift key down, holding shift, and hit the $sign, or above the 4 for a US type keyboard. So shift $ will take me to the end of the line. You see how the cursor jumped there? It was up in here and it jumped to the end of the line. If I hold shift and hit the caret, which is above the 6 on a US keyboard, and it looks like an up arrow, it'll go to the beginning of the line. So shift caret, you see the cursor jumped all the way up here to the left at the beginning of the line, and hold shift down and hit the $sign, and we jump to the end of the line. Now we have a choice here how do we want to add the text. One option is going to insert mode, which is done with an I, lowercase. Is for insert mode, or we can go into append, which is an A. So lowercase a will go into append, lowercase I will go into insert. So if I hit append, the A key to go into append, you'll see the cursor will jump over one space over because it's saying I want to append data to wherever I am. If I hit the I key, then the cursor will stay where it is. So let's go ahead and hit the A key. Now notice here that the cursor is over the period. If I hit A, which I have just done, you see the cursor jumped over one because we're going to append the text. To get out of append mode, we simply type in escape. So A, lowercase a, gets us into append. You saw it jump over. Escape key gets us out of append mode. If I hit the I key, lowercase again, you will see here that it doesn't look like anything happened, but now I'm in insert mode. The cursor did not move because we want to insert text where we are, is basically what we're telling VI. To get out of insert mode, I hit escape, and you see it jump back one. So I can hit I for insert, hit escape, and it jumps back one. Now it's your choice what you want to do. I have noticed on some installations, append may want to put text at the end of the line. It depends on the versions, and it gets kind of funky. But I often use insert mode because it's kind of a free-for-all in a lot of ways. But let's go do that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll use append for this case. So I'm going to hit A, jump over. I'm going to now hit I'm now going to hit enter, and now we insert a line. I'm going to hit enter a second time, and we now have we have a double line break. Now I can type in, this is our new sentence on a new line. And I'll probably do some typos, which will probably occur, so that's just going to happen. I'm mainly trying to show you how you use VI and less concerned about typos. Anyway, so we have typed in a new sentence. Now let's say if we hit enter 2 more times, one to get us a new line and another time, and let's say we have, this is our third sentence. Well, really it's paragraphs and so forth, because it's not really technically, but sentences should be paragraphs. Anyway, so we're still in append mode. And you can see here, if I try and use the left arrow, it's inserting weird characters because we're in append mode. So as I've said, to exit that mode, we hit escape. Now, we don't want those D's there. We say, oh, no, I really wanted to go back to the beginning of the... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Now, the easiest way to get rid of something is to hit the D, lowercase d, twice. So double tap D, and you will delete whatever line you're on. So let's say I want to get rid of this line. DD, it's gone. Hit DD again, DD, gone. Hit DD again, gone. In fact, I can get rid of this sentence. If I hit D, D, gone. So that's how we get rid of that. And you don't have to hit escape on D, because D, the DD command is in fairly rapid succession. You don't want to go D and wait an hour, but D, you have a few moments to do that twice. That is not a always on mode, where append and insert stay as append and insert until you hit the escape key. So that's how you do that. So if we want to insert something here, I could hit the I, hit space, and then I can type in a new word, which does not make any sense. Now we're just showing you how this works. And then if I try and use the arrow keys, once again, I am getting well, it's commands, it's sending commands. So I hit escape, and then I can simply just keep hitting DD and remove that. So I kept hitting the DD command to get rid of that. But you want to be careful. Don't do too rapid succession. If you're just DD, you may delete your line that you actually wanted. So again, that's how it works. So if I want to go into insert mode, I can hit insert, and notice now we moved the period. So it's like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. So now I need to go to append, because I want to move to the right of that period. And I can say, this is a new sentence. Period. So again, I is for insert mode, A is for append mode. You'll get the hang of it. So if I go into insert mode by hitting I, and I hit the backspace, it's like, whoa, nothing gets deleted. So how do I delete something? Well, this is where VI can get a little bit cumbersome sometimes. You hit the D command and backspace, D command and backspace, D command and backspace. So you hit D once, backspace, and you delete wherever you are. You'll delete that. So D backspace is one way to delete. It's not the only way, but it's the way I personally use the most. And then I can insert, and by hitting I and type in what I just deleted, hit escape to exit that. That's how easy it is to delete. It's kind of a little bit more work if you want to delete a whole bunch. That's why in general you'll see me in let's say I want to get rid of this line. What I'll often do is let's say I have this in the middle here, and I want to get rid of something. You'll sometimes see me in recordings with others. I sometimes go do podcasting. What I'll often do is I will insert, move that to its own line, like so, and then I'll just delete that line, and that way I don't have to continue to just go hitting the D over and over and backspace and all that. So you'll sometimes see me put stuff on new lines. Okay, so that's how that works. Let's say you want to replace something. Let's say you wanted to replace this with let's say we wanted to replace make new now, which I know this doesn't make any sense, but let's just showing you how functionality works. Let's say we wanted to get rid of the N, the new, and make it now. So what you could do is hit the R key once, and then hit the O. That's replace. Lowercase r is the replace command. So these are all lowercase. A equals append, I equals insert. Now those two you must hit exit to get out of. Insert and append will stay in insert and append mode until you hit escape. If you're ever confused at what's going on, just hit escape 3 or 4 times, and you should get out of any mode back to read-only mode. But again, A equals append, I equals insert, D is delete. So if you just go D, like D backspace, I get rid of it. And R, if I hit R, I can replace it. So R is replace. And again, those are all lowercase. Fairly simple, right? Okay. So that's how you do that. Now, how do you save? So we have not saved this document. We have some options. If you want to continue working with the document, hit escape so that you're not in any mode. You're in the read-only default, view-only mode. And you will hit colon. Now notice down here, we'll see a colon down here in this corner. So I'm going to hit colon. So shift colon, and you see here we now have a colon. Now it's saying, okay, VI is saying I accept commands. So if we just want to save it, we can hit W, which is write out. We just saved it. And now we can see we have 5 lines and 522 characters. If you want to exit, you can type in the Q. So you would hit shift colon. You want the colon, so you do shift to get the colon on a US keyboard, and you would hit Q for quit. And now we have exit out of that. But however, let me show you a faster way. So again, to save is simply hit escape. I like to hit escape once or twice just to make sure that I'm not in any mode by accident. Then shift, get the colon, and hit W for write out. And to get out of something, I hit the colon and the Q to quit. But if you have something you want to write out and close, let's say I'll add something, new data, and let's say I now want to exit and close, you have the option of stacking something. We want to write out and Q, so we're going to stack those. We have colon W for write out, Q for quit. We have now written that data out, and it has closed it. However, I like to use X, because let's say we'll pin something here and make some changes, and what I like to do is colon X. If you do colon X, that saves and closes, and it's one less character. So colon X, we have closed, and if I reopen that, you see our data is there. So you can use colon WQ, or you can use colon X. And again, I like to use colon X because it's just one less character. Now let's say you made some changes and you didn't. Let's say, okay, I will add data here, and then you're like, oh, I didn't mean to do that, or you deleted a line and you're like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. How do you get out of something? We simply hit escape a few times. Again, that's just a little tip. That way you make sure you're not in any modes. If you hit the colon command, you can type in quit exclamation mark, and that will exit you. You could also do as a shortcut Q. I like to use Q because that does the same thing. If you do a Q exclamation mark, it will not prompt you, and if we reopen that file, notice our data's here. So you see I could delete all this data here, so we have no data. We can even have an empty file, and if I do escape Q with the exclamation mark, it leaves that file, but no data has been deleted. So it's Q colon Q exclamation mark, and exclamation mark tells it do not. Because see, watch what happens if I don't do this. Say I go to quit. See, it says, you can see here we get the error. No write since last change. Add explanation to override. So there is something that kind of helps you out. But if I do colon Q exclamation mark, we're out. That's how simple it is. Now, the other thing that you may need to know how to do is how do you search for something. Searching for something, so hit escape to make sure you're not in any modes, and you hit the /, which starts in the lower left-hand corner and goes to the upper right-hand corner. So watch down here when I hit the /, you see how we now have the /, and I can type something in. Let's type something that's there. Let's type in, say, do for do. So I type in /do for do, and you see here now it moved the cursor from here to, because there's technically a do here, so it matched that part of the word. Now to continue searching, I simply hit I like to hit the /enter, and it goes to the next one. So that way we get /enter keeps going. You see here we keep getting do for in there, and it will go back up. Notice how here it started over again. See, we have do, so /enter, /enter, /enter. Now notice here, if I do / it's going to jump back up here, /enter, and now we're back up to this word here. And it says, search hit bottom, continuing at top. It does let you know. So to search for something else, I don't have to do that. Let's say I'm here and I'm like, no, I don't need to search anymore. When I hit the search here, all I have to do is say type in something else. Let's type in, say, in, and now we're getting the ins instead. And I could say nope. So / no, tell me QUI, and now we're getting the QUI. So that's how easy it is to search. / whatever you want to search for. However, if you don't enter anything, it will search for the last. If you just do / enter, it will just use the last data entered and search for that. And if you don't want to do search, say you hit search, I said I didn't mean that. You should be able to hit escape. Yeah, there you go, and then you're out of it. Because remember, escape will always return you, and that's why I like to double tap it. Because sometimes it takes 2 escapes, or you just never know. And again, I like to double, triple tap it, sometimes quad tap it, just to make sure that I'm not in any funky modes. So it's not that difficult to use for basic editing. It just takes a little bit of time to learn it. And I hope this video helped you out. Of course, as I said, there's a lot more commands than I've shown you. And you're certainly free, obviously, to get on the internet and do a search using your preferred search engine. And there's a lot more commands. But those are the ones you're going to find yourself. The appending, editing, or inserting, I should say, deleting, removing, and then saving and closing and using different files. Oh, let me show you how to create a new file. It's very easy. And sometimes I type out quit all the way. You simply type in VI space, then the name of the file. Let me clear this, and we'll type in LS, and then I'll close out just so you know. There's no file. Let's create new file. So I'd simply do VI space new file. You'll see down here we have new file, new file. Let's not call it that. Let's call it, say, VI something. We'll call it, say, video file. That way you know. So see, now here we have the name down here, video file, new file. So now I can insert data, and now I will go ahead and close. And now if I ls here, you see we have a new file, video file. And if I go ahead and VI that, you can see here we have our insert data. So inserting data is really, or creating a new file is really easy. It's just VI space whatever the file name is. Now, of course, if the file exists, it's going to open it. And instead, it'll try and open it instead. But you just simply type in VI. So you don't have to go touch or anything like that. Just simply create your file. And again, new file it will tell you, VI being it will tell you if you have a new file, if it's creating a new file. Or if it doesn't have this down here, it'll have the number of lines and that type of stuff. And then that way you'll know that you're not creating a new file. So that's how easy it is to create a new file. And if you don't want to do that, you can simply type in Q and the :Q exclamation mark, and it won't save anything out. It's not that difficult. It just takes a little bit of practice to get used to it. So as I said, I hope this helped you out, and enjoy using Vim.